Hey guys, how's it going? It's Rusty from Mike and Rusty Play, and welcome to Rusty's Game Hints and Tricks. I'm going to be showing people a few tricks to get through a Nightfall on Destiny. It's a level 30 strike that happens weekly, and they're super hard. And there's a few areas that I know that you can sit and not be damaged, so it's really good for people who like to do it solo. So I'm going to be showing you each strike individually and secret spots that you can hide from the bosses and or other enemies that are shooting at you. First, we're going to be doing the Devil's Lair. It's Sepiks Prime. It's relatively easy, but sometimes it can be pretty hard with a modifier on it. So the first spot that I'm going to show you is on the left side when you're hacking the mesh generator. It's at the very early end of the strike. There are two tankers in the back of the area that you can hide by. The only ones you really need to worry about are the snipers that are up on the scaffolding. I will show you here in a second that the hive will come out and attack you like normal, but if you go back far enough, they'll leave. They just won't attack you. Like I said, the only ones you need to worry about are the snipers. It's really good for when you are in a full team and you don't want to worry about getting separated and killed. The next part is with the Devil Walker. It's the giant tank right before you fight Sepiks Prime. If you go all the way to the right corner of the map, there's a small area, and if you crouch right here in this exact spot, the tank will not be able to hit you with anything it shoots at you. The only thing you'll have to worry about is taking out the snipers and some of the enemies that will come towards you. It's relatively easy, but the tank will not damage you. I'll show you that here in a second. He will not be able to hit you with the blue projectile missiles that he shoots at you, which he's shooting right now. And you always have a clear shot at him, so it's really useful to be sitting in this spot. He also can't hit you with the big cannon, and that's always really annoying because it's a one-shot kill no matter what level of the strike you're on. So after you get him down, you can easily pull out your heavy or your icebreaker or whatever and take him out relatively quickly. Next is the battle with Sepiks Prime himself. There are two areas you can go to that are quite useful to help you easily breeze through this. You can either stay up here like normal, but during the Nightfall that isn't necessarily the smartest idea, so the next best option is to go underneath. Sepiks Prime, yes, can still hit you, but none of the other enemies will come towards you and attack you. So it's relatively really stupid to hang around up top when you don't have to worry about any other enemies. The next spot is up on the stairs on the right side of the map. You can jump up and you can actually jump through the window. It's at a good spot that nobody can hit you, but the only problem with this is you cannot shoot through the window. The best solution to this issue is to jump all the way back over to this window, jump up onto the windowsill, and poke your head out just a little bit, and you'll be able to shoot Sepiks Prime and all the enemies around. The only problem with this spot is if shanks come up, you have to stay inside if you're on the Nightfall. He can't shoot through the window, and neither can any of the other enemies, but like I said, those shanks are still an issue. You can easily jump through any window. They're both accessible, and it's the best spot in this strike that I use. Next up, we have the Summoning Pits. It's Fogoth. This is actually my least favorite strike. The best thing to do on this strike is to stay in this little area right as you get into the room with Fogoth. You just sit here and you shoot at him until the chains come off. But the only problem with this spot is after a while, a Shrieker will spawn in behind you, as you can see right here. You can easily just shoot it and kill it, but the problem with that is when you blow up a Shrieker, these purple things fly around and they can do really big amounts of damage on you. And when you're on a Nightfall with void damage, it's basically a one-hit kill. You can do it that way, or you can do it the way that I do it. You can easily go back in the room when the Shrieker spawns and just sit. If you sit back here long enough, the Shrieker will eventually despawn. Just watch for a second. See? It despawned. And also the good thing about this is if you're doing it solo, or if you have all your team in a party and you can communicate with them, you can sit in the back and all the enemies that come into this room will despawn with the Shrieker, allowing you to get more and more time into shooting Fogoth. Next we have Winter's Run. It's actually my favorite strike. It's with the Archon Priest. There are actually two areas that I know of that you can actually get to. Once you get to the Archon Priest and actually let him out of his little cage thing, you can go back to the way you came and jump down, and there's a little perch that you can jump up on to get an overview of the entire area. You'll see that in a second. You jump right here, and then you jump over here. It doesn't look like you can get up here, but you can actually stand up here. You can get a nice big view of the surrounding area, but the only problem with this spot that I find is that the Archon Priest and all the other enemies below you can still shoot at you. This upcoming spot that I'm about to show you is the spot that I use. It's very rare that an enemy can hit you, and when you're doing it by yourself, the Archon Priest will stand right in front of you and not move. There's an invisible wall that he will not be able to shoot through, but if you get it just right, you'll be able to shoot through it. If you jump over to this area over here, you can just sit back here and not worry about most of the enemies. Yes, sometimes a shank may come over and you may have to take him out, but if you just sit there and focus on the Archon Priest, you'll be done in no time. Here's a perfect example of a spot that you can keep shooting at the Archon Priest. See, usually if you're by yourself or if your entire team is back here, the Archon Priest will be on the platform directly in front of you. You can just sit there and spam him and he will be dead in no time. Yes, a 3-man fire team can fit back here. It can be hard, but you just maneuver around. As long as you don't go past the spot that I'm in right now, you'll be alright. Sometimes, like I said, the shanks may come over and be able to shoot at you, but if you get in this one spot correctly, the Archon Priest and the shanks won't be able to shoot you. So you can't shoot them either, but if you get into the right spot, you can. And if you duck down, they won't be able to hit you at all. If they go over far enough, that's fine. You can just take them out. But it's relatively easy just to sit in this spot. Up next, we have the Nexus. This one is really long, and it's actually one of my least favorite ones, but there are two things that you can do. In the very first part where you fight the servitors, there's two things you can do. Number one, you can stay, you can be a good teammate, you can take out all the enemies, you can help them, and easily fly through this. But if you want to be a fucking douchebag and leave your fire team hanging, there's always a way to do that. If you go up the stairs all the way to the top and just stop right before you reach the top of the stairs and jump, you can actually jump through this window. Now this is the best way to do it when you're a warlock, since it's got such a floaty jump, but it can also be done with the Titan and the Hunter. If you come over to this door frame and jump up on top of it, you'll be able to stand, and you'll also have enough room to jump up and get through the window. That's how I do it when I play as my Hunter character or my Titan character. And then the problem with this is if you go all the way to the Nexus without destroying the servitors, you will not be able to move forward because the Nexus will not spawn. Now, back a while ago, you used to be able to jump on that and get over to that area, but they added an invisible wall thinking, no, players won't be able to get around this. But no, there's actually another way to get up there. I'm not 100% positive if it works with all three of the classes, but with the Warlock, it does. You jump over to this pedestal right here, and then you go right over there. There's a little outcropping that you can jump up on. If you jump over there, and then if you jump up there, bam, you're up there again, and the Nexus cannot hit you, but you can't shoot through this. You can stand right here even when the shutter is open, but just don't go directly in the middle or you'll fall through. There's another spot located right below the place that you drop down. There's a giant wall that looks pretty solid, but actually if you go to either side of it, there's a little hole that you can get behind the wall. I never really use this spot because it's like, sure, you'll be able to stay away from the fire of the Nexus, but if you come out here in order to shoot him, you can sometimes get stuck and you will eventually die. It's not that good. Next up, we have Valus Ta'arik. This strike is by far the hardest when it's on the Nightfall, but there are two things that'll make the battle with Ta'arik relatively easy. On two sides, there are two different stairwells. On each stairwell, there's a little spot that you can hide. Now, on the right side, it's a little bit more open, and you can easily get shot by the other enemies that sit below. As you can see, Ta'arik comes out from there. If you come over here and drop down, there's a spot right here that if you go all the way to the corner and sit right here, Ta'arik will stand right in your range of fire. He can't hit you, but you can hit him. The only problem is I feel like it's too open, and if somebody throws a grenade back there, you are screwed. The place that I use the most is actually on the other side of the left side of the map. If you go over to the ramp, you can actually drop down under the stairs. Now this place has got a roof to cover you, and there are actually two different spots where you can hit Ta'arik. And if you need to get out quickly to revive someone, you can easily jump right here and jump back in. And the two spots you could fire at Ta'arik are right here. You can hit him through that little crevice, and then you can come over to this side and you can also hit him here. The problem is when he goes to the other side, you won't be able to hit him, so you have to jump back out and shoot at him from there. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my hints and tricks for Destiny Nightfall strikes. Sometimes it can be hard, but with these, hopefully they'll make them a little bit easier for you. If you enjoyed the video, I would really hope that you would subscribe to the channel and like this video. It would help me out a lot. I plan on doing more of these in the future when I find different tricks. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.